Before I explain the pass by address method, let us first see what is a memory address, how can that be accessed or retrieved, and how can we store the address in a variable. Here I have a simple program where I declare a variable a and assign a value 5. So a variable named a will be created inside the memory, and we can print the value of the variable by the printf statement, and the value of the variable 5 will be printed. Here the variable a is stored in some memory location inside the RAM, and these memory locations have memory address. For example, the memory address of this variable a might be, say, a number like 4044. You can see the memory address of a variable by using the address of operator. The address of operator is the ampersand sign. You can write address of a to retrieve the memory address. Let's modify this program. Instead of a, let us put address of a or ampersand a and see what output we get. So let us change the a to ampersand a and run the program. So there is some warning, and we have got the address of the variable a. This number here which gets printed is the address of the variable a. Why the warning is because we used the wrong format to print the address. If you want to print the address, you can change this %d to %p. Let us change that and see what would be the output. So here when we change p and run the program, we print the address without any warnings, but this address is now printed in the hexadecimal format. How do we know that this is a hexadecimal format? Is the beginning two characters are 0x. 0x refers to the hexadecimal format, and the remaining are the digits in the hexadecimal format, which will give you the memory address. So we have now seen how to retrieve the memory address of a variable. It is simply by using the address of operator. In pass by address method, instead of passing the value 5, we pass the address. Now when we pass the address, we have to store it in some variable. I am going to create a variable b to store this memory address. This variable b cannot be an ordinary integer variable like a, because integer variable stores integers. This variable b has to store address of some other variable. So the variables that are created to store the memory address is called as pointers. Let's now go ahead and create this variable b, and let us see how we have to declare it. We have to create a variable b, and we write int star b. If we write int a, it will create an integer variable which can store an integer value. To create a pointer to store the address, we have to write int star b. We have to use a star sign before the variable name. Let me also write it, the declaration int star b is assigned the value of what we want to store here is the memory address, and how to retrieve this memory address is by writing ampersand a or and a. So in star b is equal to and a will create the memory variable b, which can store a memory address, and it will also assign the value of the memory address to this variable. So this will store this address 4044 inside the variable b. This variable b also is a special variable. This can store memory addresses. So this is known as, this has a special name, this is known as a pointer. So let us continue with the program. So in star b is equal to and a, so that will store the address in the pointer. Now why this b is known as a pointer? This b is known as a pointer because b contains the address of a. So what b does is it points to a. You can think about it as a signboard which says Cochin towards left 100 kilometers. So this is the reason why it is known as a pointer, because it points to some memory location. Now since b has the address of a, using b we can access a. So how to get or retrieve this 5 using the address contained in b? Let us see that. If we want to print the contents inside a variable, we can use the printf statement, just like we have used here. If we just print the value of b, what it is going to print is the address. But we can print the value of a using b, and let us see how this is done. So instead of b, I am going to write star b and run this program. So if you print b, it will print the address. If you print star b, it will print the value pointed by the address. This star used here along with the pointer is known as a dereference operator. Star here in this case is known as a dereference operator, and also if we dereference a pointer, it will access the value pointed by that pointer. Let me summarize. The rules are simple. If you want to store a memory address, you have to create a pointer. How do we create that? Is by using the operator star. If you want to store the address, you use the address of operator and retrieve the address and assign it to the pointer. If you want to print the value pointed by the pointer, then you have to use the dereference operator. 3 simple rules. Let us also see if we print just b, what it is going to print. So again this has printed the address, but with the warning. We know how to remove the warning, that is by changing the format type from %d to %p. So if we change that to %p and then again run the program, then we see that without any warning, the address contained inside the pointer b is printed in the hexadecimal format. So %p is the format for the pointer type data. So we have learned how to get the address of a variable. We also learned how to store the address in a pointer. We also learned how to access the value pointed by that pointer. Now let us see how do we pass the value during a function called by address.